surround yourself with people who will motivate you. Another aspect which I think is, I would say, for the betterment of yourself as well, is when you grow, please see that you are helping others who are less fortunate to also grow in some way.
Hello, guys, and welcome to yet another exciting episode of Sustainability Simplified, your bi monthly dose of how to seamlessly build an action oriented, sustainable, and profitable business. I'm your host, Zitin, and today in episode 15, we have Shirali Shetty Vengsarkar, who is the founder of The Happy Elephant. And these guys do some really cool stuff. You'll find out in just about a minute. Welcome, Shirali. It's lovely to have you on the show. How are you today?
Hi, Zitin. I'm good and really happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks so much. How's this corona situation that side?
It's getting better. Mumbai is definitely, settling down, and we
Yeah.
hope things will get back to normal maybe by next month.
Yeah.
So everyone is very hopeful. Yes.
Yeah, I also have folks back in Bombay, and my family also. They're now fed up. They're like, that's it. It's enough now. But then
Absolutely.
once in a while, you keep seeing these new things like now third wave, etc. So I'm hoping things stabilize soon.
I know, I know.
Great. So let's just dive in.
Sure.
Amazing. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey of starting the Happy Elephant.
Well, Jitin, I grew up in Singapore, and when I moved to Mumbai after marriage, I was always quite disturbed by the level of poverty in our country and also the pollution that existed.
Right.
And after some time, I really wanted to do something about it, And in 2018, I started doing some research on why the air was so polluted and came to learn about the extensive amount of waste that gets burnt in our landfills. And at that point, we came to learn about the large amount of plastic, rubber, fabric, etc. That really existed on a day-to-day basis that gets collected.
Right.
And so we tried to figure out what was the best way to kind of like start at least something to make a difference. So we began with making upcycled products
Okay.
by buying waste fabric from large garment manufacturing units.
Okay.
We picked up the fabrics from them, and we started training and working with women from our slums in Mumbai
Right.
to make different kinds of products out of these fabric materials. We thought that this would be a good opportunity for them to learn a new skill and also earn a living in the process.
Correct.
We started marketing these products in a very small way, and there was a good demand for these products because they were made with very high quality in terms of design,
Yeah.
and finishing was really very good. And so we said, you know what, I think this could really be something quite extraordinary, and we decided to expand our range, and now we have over 1,000 SKUs, and we are growing with the number of product range that we have, and we're also working with over 900 artisans across India.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so that's really how it all started.
Those are some crazy numbers, yeah. I didn't know. I mean, 900 artisans, that's mad. And like 1,000 SKUs, that's just amazing. Crazy, crazy, amazing.
Yes,
And so
yes.
so when did you start operations?
Well, the conceptualization happened around 2.5 years ago,
Right.
and it took us, over a year to ensure that the qualities, were really met.
Correct.
And so that's really it took quite a bit of time to get that process, really identifying the right, centers and teams that we would like to, empower and also, work with the same kind of mindsets that we expected, out of them. So that process took a while, but now it's really moving in the right direction. I think we see some great opportunities in the coming future. Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I remember having a couple of calls with you. By the way, for our listeners, if you guys don't know, we actually, of course, you all will not know because I didn't mention it earlier, but Shirali and I actually met over LinkedIn,
Mm-hmm.
and we hit it off pretty smoothly right from the start. And we've been in touch since the past few months. And I'm so glad, finally, you're on the show. So it's
Yes,
great to
thank
have you.
you.
Yeah. I
Thank you, Sitin.
I've always had this question in my head, and I'm going to now just, say it out loud and ask you for the benefit of everybody.
Sure.
What is with the name? How did you come up with the Happy Elephant as a name?
Yes, yes. You know, I think that's a very popular question with a lot of people.
Right.
You know, I personally am an animal lover. Okay, I really love animals, and elephants are one of those creatures that I find very interesting, and their characteristics are also very very special.
Right.
They have these, you know, if you look at the characteristics, they're very deep family bonds. You know, they are highly sensitive creatures. You know,
Yeah.
and they're very caring as well. They're so large and magnanimous, but then they're also very, you know, very caring, and they're much very much like humans, you know, in many ways.
Yeah.
And they're very intelligent, and they have complex emotions and feelings, but most of all, they have compassion
Right.
and self-awareness. So compassion is something that really what the happy elephant represents,
Right.
you know, because it's not just about our growth, it's really about taking everybody along with us, you know, on this ride, and that's what it's about, you know. So I just thought that you know, the elephants would really be a perfect fit for our brand. And also the word happy, I think that is something, I mean, this word is such a, you know, important word in all our lives. And we also began, the product range was actually catered to children initially.
Okay.
You know, when we also started, we were doing all these really cute products for kids. You know, their hairbands and their bracelets and their little, you know, sling bags and stuff. So we wanted to do fun products for kids, and so we wanted them to kind of like identify with the brand. So we got the happy elephant, which we wanted, you know, where the children are happy, we feel happy when we see, you know, smiling kids laughing. So all of these sort of, you know, emotions kind of like culminated into the brand name.
Fantastic.
That's how it all started. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Love it. Love the thought behind the name. Yeah,
Thank you.
that's pretty amazing, and good to know that you started with
Hmm.
kids accessories and products specifically for kids, but of course you've expanded far and wide in that sense.
Yes,
Uh,
yes. I think
so
if I may just add
yeah,
something over there, Zitin,
sure.
you know, why the reason we also started with kids is because, you know, of all the damages that have happened, that you know, our generation, a generation before us have created for our planet. You know, we wanted the kids to kind of like understand how important, you know, sustainable products were, you know, and how beautiful such beautiful products can be created, you know. And when we teach the kids from a very young age, they tend to, you know, grasp these things, you know, and understand it beautifully. So that was also one of the reasons where we thought of introducing kids products initially. Yes.
Absolutely. I think that makes total sense because, if the child learns about sustainability right from the beginning,
Yeah.
he or she will also educate his or her family,
Yes.
about it, and it has a great domino effect.
Yes.
So that's fantastic.
Thank you.
Um, you know, in continuation with that, could you tell us a little bit more? Because now, of course, your brand is not just about kids products; it's much much more. So tell us a little more, about the products that you have in your kitty.
Sure, sure. So all our handmade products are eco-friendly. They're either upcycled, recycled, or made of natural, earth-friendly materials. Okay,
Right,
that
right.
could be, you know, biodegradable, you know, materials or organic materials. So our range kind of like varies from furniture to home decor items to personal care items to garments made from organic fabrics, which is, you know, safe for our skin, for example, stationery items, gifting items. So you know, the range is rather huge, but everything is sustainable, and that's really the full range of the products that we have.
Fantastic. I think that's a crazy amount of like, of course you have 1,000 SKUs, so I would have imagined, your product range to be super, super wide.
Yes, yes.
So obviously, I mean, following that, there might be several other zillions of challenges,
Mm-hmm.
and also at the same time opportunities that, you may have faced or actually capitalized on, since
Mm-hmm.
you started the Happy Elephant. Could you talk a little bit about that as well?
I think if we talk about the challenges, when I look back, I think initially it was really educating our artisans in terms of consistency,
Right,
in terms of export quality and standards. You know,
right,
there is no room for compromise. You know, and it's very important for our teams to understand that if a customer expects, you know, certain qualities, we have to give them that what we've promised,
right.
and that's very very important, especially in the, you know, export market. The other thing that was very important for me to also help them understand is living living up to commitments and timelines. We tend to be rather complacent, in some aspects. And I wanted the teams to really, really understand that if we commit to finishing our production on this date, we will have to ensure that it gets done before that date. So being very, very, very consistent with our timelines, our commitments to our customers, that should never fail. And so those were the things that I felt that was very important for me to really, really instill in our teams. And that's really how we work currently as well. And if we look at more recently, once we introduce the brand, the reaching out to B2B buyers across the globe obviously is something which is not an easy task for anybody. So it's been tough to get recognized, and it's always tough for a new brand. I mean, it's normal.
Right.
So it is of course much easier when you have large marketing budgets,
Of course.
which is always a challenge for a startup to have. But we are doing our best to kind of like reach out. But having said that, I think taking baby steps is always very advantageous,
Right.
because then you can reach out in a different way. And the opportunities that I see in this is that we can really show how people, how every step they take, however small it may be, that that step can really impact our environment. It really can.
Yeah.
And it's not just about saying, oh, the government didn't do this for us and whatever. It really is not the only the government's responsibility to keep our environment clean, or make it greener. It is in fact the responsibility of every citizen of every country to take charge and to be aware of what we are buying, how are these products made, and how are they impacting our planet. It's very crucial for each one of us to take ownership of that. If everyone pledges to do their part, I feel that from manufacturers to consumers, we will definitely see an improved regenerated planet by 2050, because this is really what the Happy Elephants goal is, to be able to reach that goal of 2050, to really make an impact on the lives of our artisans, as well as people who are buying our sustainable products.
Fantastic. I think that's a great vision, recently I actually saw one of the videos. I don't know if you follow Simon Sinek.
Yes, of course. Yes.
Yeah, so Simon Sinek had put up this video on how he doesn't believe in the concept of, and this was on Instagram, how he doesn't believe in the concept of CEOs. Like, what is Chief Executive Officer?
Mm-hmm.
I think it should be Chief Vision Officer. So
Mm-hmm.
he recoined that term, and he's like, it should be CVO and
Yes.
not really CEO. So I think, yeah, I think that that makes sense, because as a founder also, it's your duty first to actually have a visionary outlook to the kind of products that you make and the clients that you serve, and of course at the back end also the kind of artisans that you are catering to provide them that market linkage. That's a great, super great vision.
Yes.
I'm just curious to know, has packaging been a very big problem for your
Mm-hmm.
company, because it's a product led company and of course you would be shipping worldwide? So how have you been able to capture that
Mm-hmm.
challenge, because I know that a lot of product led businesses do struggle with that piece.
Yes, yes. So a lot of it, we are also looking at. We're also thinking of new ways to innovate, to come up with creative ways for packaging. But at the moment, we are looking at recycling paper,
Right.
putting shredded paper in between to protect the products. For example,
Nice.
we've already got biodegradable packaging in our list of products that we currently supply, and it looks like plastic, but it's not. So they're actually, it's wonderful. It's wonderful packaging which is biodegradable, so you can put your garments in there. So
Nice.
our garments will be packed in these transparent sheets, which can actually close. And so we are, I think that the innovation part is very crucial as well. So you're absolutely right. These are the first few things that we've come up with in terms of biodegradable items. And I think we will also be coming up with, I think maybe within the next year or so, we will definitely be coming up with new products that we can actually use for packaging, because I think there's a lot of scope for that as well.
100%. I mean, there's super scope in it, because, even at Next Mile Co, whenever I'm talking to any entrepreneur, about a new project and stuff, and this is like a perpetual issue. There
Hmm.
is some or the other challenge with respect to packaging some or the other kind of products. Really looking forward to those products, in your range getting added
Yes.
over the next 1 year. So, yeah. So, moving on, is there any specific advice that you might like to give to any of our listeners, especially those people who may want to actually pursue their own enterprise, or, look at this space more seriously?
Yes, yes. I think, when you look at people, I think it's important for people to get into a job, so as to speak, that they really enjoy. I
Right,
think that's important.
right,
Everybody doesn't have that opportunity, but it'll be wonderful if that can happen. So I would say for those who could look into that, follow your passion, surround yourself with people who will motivate you. I think that's so important, and you, because you can learn so much from them, and that is again important trait. So surrounding yourself with the right people is crucial,
right,
and never stop learning.
right.
Okay, there's just never, I mean, there's just so much to learn. So never stop that. Read and research a lot on the subject of interest, whichever subject that might be. Again, another aspect which I think is, I would say, for the betterment of yourself as well, is when you grow, please see that you are helping others who are less fortunate to also grow in some way.
Yeah,
It might not be some
yeah,
some huge thing, but even if it's in the smallest way, see that there is an impact created on somebody else's life. Because you might be happy earning money, but the satisfaction that you get in seeing somebody else's fortunes come up is really a special feeling altogether.
absolutely.
So never give in, and dream big.
That's like a pot of gold for sure, as advice for sure. I'm sure
Thank
people
you.
will find it extremely, extremely helpful. And so did I actually. I actually noted down some of those points, by the way. So
Oh, thank you.
thanks. Thanks for sharing that.
Pleasure.
Great. So as we come to an end of the session, I'd like to kind of, ask you, how can our listeners really reach out to you and the Happy Elephant, if they wish to know more?
Yes, so I'm always happy to connect with anybody. They can reach me on my email, which is Shirali at thehappyelephant.org. And if they want to look at the product range, they can look at our B2B website, which is www.thehappyelephant.org. Yeah, I'm happy to get connected with anyone. Yes.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So I hope you guys have noted that. So great, amazing. So thanks so much, Shirali, for your time. I'm definitely sure that this very very refreshing conversation actually motivated a lot of people to look at this exciting space. Um, and really, thanks a lot for being here. Thanks a ton.
Thank you,
Thanks for
Zitin.
your
Thank you
time.
for this opportunity. It was wonderful speaking with you. And all the best to you as well.
Thanks a ton. Take care.
Thank you. Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Take care. You too. Bye. Stay safe.
Great, guys. Thank you so much for listening. And if you like this podcast, feel free to share it in your network. My one takeaway from this episode was no, there were a couple of takeaways. Wait, okay. Noted them down. So, one was um, definitely do the work that you enjoy. Second, which was actually the most important one for me, was that, surround yourself with people who actually motivate you. And lastly was, when you grow, see, look at the opportunities on how you can help others who are lesser fortunate to also grow with you. I think that was just, like I said earlier, a pot of gold. So just amazing. Great. I would love to hear your takeaway from today as well. Do share it with me on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and or Twitter. You will find me there on @Zitin Munshi. That's @ZitinMunshi. Also, feel free to get in touch with us at Next Mile Co if you want to explore how your business can dial up the sustainability quotient profitably. You will find us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram on @NextMileCo. That's @NextMileCo. Until next time.